Welcome back to the Daily Doji. This is the Daily Doji number 67. Today we're doing technical analysis for SPY, AMC, SPRT, and PFE. If you want to see any other symbols, let me know. If I don't do them today, then I'll do them in the next live video. Awesome, welcome back. We've been going live 5 days a week doing technical analysis on stocks and crypto. Go figure, as soon as I get started, I've got Doge alerts that I have to send to my group, and I have to multitask. Alright, there we go. No problem. So let's get started with the S&P. These were requested by one of my clients. So this is the SPY, which is basically an ETF that is mimicking the S&P 500. The S&P 500 goes back way farther. This one only goes back to 1993. So I can already see right away some waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is what this looks like so far. And way back here, so yeah, stay tuned in all the way to the end to see the analysis to all of these. And if you want more info, just ask questions, or I've got some resources in the description. You can always reach out to me on Instagram at the Daily Doji as well. Also, I have a beginner's trading course that I'm pre-launching right now, so reach out to me if you want in the beta test. I'm still accepting 1 or 2 people. So if you look at the monthly chart, we usually start on a longer time frame so that we can see the big picture. This big correction right here looks like an A, B, C. That's wave 2. So these waves also have subwaves that make up the inside of the wave. And that's one important way to learn how to count them. Because there's another one right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the interior waves of this wave 3. So do you see this ABC are the subwaves of the wave 2, and that these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are the subwaves of the wave 3. Does that make sense? Hello, Hells Bay Rum. Adding you on IG. Awesome. Thank you for commenting. Nice to see you. And Crazy Duo is back again. Hello. Thank you for tuning in. Alright, so then if this is ABC here, then what is this right here? Because as you can tell, it looks a bit different. Well, as you might know from some of my other videos, or if you're already in my course, there are corrective waves, and they can make different shapes. So the typical wave up is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. However, the correction waves aren't always exactly the same. Some of them look like this, A, B, C. This one, the B wave, came all the way back up to pretty much right where the fifth wave of wave 1 ended. And then this was one correction, even though, if you notice in history, this is basically the dot-com bubble crash. And this down here, wave C, is basically also known as the housing bubble crashing in '07 and ending in '09. This one was in 2000 and ending in 2002. That was one correction, believe it or not, because these are Elliott waves. Now, I didn't know this way back then. I was too young, but now you know. And you can look back through history and you can see these waves as they repeat themselves. But this one up here, the wave 2 and the wave 4 are in the middle of the 5 waves up, and they're counter trend going against the grain. And there could also be, if this was a 5-wave impulse down, then the counter trend corrective waves are right there, 2 and 4 going up. Does that make sense? I'm trying to make sure that you're still following the waves. So then this ABC is a different pattern than this ABC. This one, the B wave comes up higher than the end of the wave 5 on the previous wave, on the wave 3. So wave 3 ends, and then one wave down, A. The next wave is still the correction, but it goes up above the previous subwave 5, if that makes sense, and then comes back down. And that is a fake out. That is a bull trap up there that traps people, up right there. And this correction was really strange because it seemed like it would be a lot bigger due to the circumstances. If you remember, that was only about a year ago. And the circumstances seemed a lot more crazy than back here in either 2000 or in '07, '08. But it was a little bit of a different shape of a correction, which is normal for the wave 2 and the wave 4 to be different. One of them tends to be taking more time going sideways, and then the other one, depending on which one did which, would be more vertical. So as you can see, this one took a lot more time than this one. And now, what about this last wave? Are we done here, or where is this going to go? Let's go into a shorter time frame so that this, to me, looks like 5 waves is not done yet. See that correction right there? And then I think this one might be coming to a close here. Then we might have now this wave 4 could dip all the way back to the top of wave 1, but it might not go down totally that far. It can, and if this 200 moving average comes up here by then, it might drop down to where it's coming up, and then the 5th wave might come up like this. And then also these have 5 waves as well. Subwaves. Something like this. So then this last one would have them as well. And where's it going to end? Oh, great. More alerts. All right, just got to post that in the alerts group. There's a lot that goes on in the alerts group, actually. It's quite active. So then this last wave, as I was saying before, it already hit one of my targets, which was 450 or 4,500 on the S&P. I think it might have a small dip, which might appear to be the crash coming. But then if it comes up and makes another new high of like 5,000, or on this one 500, that's kind of what I would expect right here. And then if you look on the monthly, let me turn all these off. Okay, I don't like having all that clutter, but just to show the example of what's going on. So what's going to happen after the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves? Well, we're going to have a big correction, like either like that, or it could look more like this, or it could look more like this. Move this out of the way. Could end up looking something like that, with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves, but then these ones have subwaves of 3, not 5. Something like this. And this isn't the only other pattern that it could be, but this is one of the other patterns in a corrective wave. And I'm just drawing out all the subwaves because it would be something like that. That's a lot of action downwards. And that would take, as you can tell at this timeline down here, now this isn't exact because I'm just freehanding an example, but just the one I just drew, that would take 10 years to make it all the way to the bottom. So this next correction is quite terrifying, depending on what it ends up looking like. A lot of people will get wiped out by that because they think that it's just magically going to go up and up and up forever. Take a screenshot of this really quick. Okay, and there are some other different types of corrective waves. I'm going to erase this. And where might it fall to? How far might it go down? Well, we have a tool, if it works. Oh, I'm off the screen. Okay, the Fibonacci retracement tool. I need to start from the bottom. So I need to start from the bottom of the wave, which is around, looks like 42 or so. And then if it does finish going up, depending on exactly where the top ends up being, it's hard to get the exact tippy top, although I like to try if I can. And this is a good time for a disclaimer that I'm not a licensed financial advisor or a broker. Trade at your own risk, especially when we're talking about crypto. But also, I mean, like I just pointed out, if this ends up collapsing that's a risk. Also, if you were shorting it, that would be a risk. So even though I've been able to make a lot of accurate predictions, it's not 100% foolproof. And just because I'm doing something doesn't mean I recommend it to anyone else. All right, so if I say something is like a buy or a sell looking signal, that's for me. That's my analysis for myself, and I'm not telling anyone else what to do. All right, so this one, these lines are basically the common levels of resistance. So it should probably come down. Also, there could be a different type of ABC wave. Something like this. It could come down to the 0.618, or it could come down to the 0.786. Could be something like that. And if this shape happened and it came down all the way to this 0.786 level, which, you know, Doge did that, a lot of them do. It's obviously Doge is different because it's a tiny baby crypto, and this is the S&P, which is an index of 500 companies, you know, going back much farther. So they're going to behave a little differently. However, these charts are measuring basically human psychology, and that is the common factor in all the charts. So if it ends up being something like this, it could come down all the way from like 500 all the way to like 140 or 218. That would be insane. That would be my buy zone. It might take a while for it to get down, and once it gets down that far, you know, that could be down there. It might go further even. It could still go further down and still maintain the correct wave count. Because a wave 2, if this is one giant wave 1, a wave 2 can come down all the way to almost to the bottom and still go back up and be okay. But, you know, people are going to be terrified during that. It's going to take a long time, because this chart is a long time in the making. Hellboy's Rom said, unless Biden's America can sink it. Well, it's gonna. I mean, I'm expecting it to sink pretty soon. The timing is ripe, and it's not something I wish to happen. I definitely don't want that to happen. It's just what I think, judging by history and Elliott Waves, something like this might happen. Now, I'll be charting the beginning waves if it starts coming down, and I'll be trying to figure out the subwaves coming down so that I can find out if they're 5 or 3. Then once I have this first wave down, I'll be able to tell some more info about what might happen next. Oh, it definitely will be an interesting future, and stay strapped in, folks. All right, so next, let's take a look at PFE. Okay, so as you can see, someone asked me for this analysis, so I was looking at it already and saw that I told him in the group a few days ago that if it goes back above, it needs to get back above 48 and then make a new high again over 52 and keep going up for this to be a new wave up. Otherwise, if it comes back down, back into the territory of this previous wave and stays back under this high, then it will make like what probably will be a C wave down, because that looks like an A, B, C, expanded flat correction, the kind I just showed you a few minutes ago, where the B wave comes above the previous wave 5, which fakes everyone out and is a bull trap. So we have to be careful right there. Is it a bull trap, or will it go back above 52 and make a new high? That is the question. So that's what I would be watching out for on this one. Hello, Eddie. Nice to see you again. Thanks for tuning in. And thank you guys all for the thumbs up. I appreciate that. It helps with the YouTube algorithm, and so do the comments. And as some of you already know, this is a new channel for me. I had another channel for years, and I had to spin off of it because my technical analysis videos were taking over the whole channel. So this is a newer channel for me, and that's why it's so small, and I appreciate especially all the support, because starting a brand new channel is kind of daunting when you know kind of the work that it's going to have to take. Alright, well, this one, we'll have to see this play out. If it makes a new high above 52, I would delete this ABC thing and expect the next wave up. And I might try to ride that one up as well. And then let's look at AMC. Okay, so this one, let's start on the monthly. Is this it? Okay. Well, I don't like this chart because it doesn't seem like enough data. We've got like this one weird sideways wave and then a wave down, and then what looks like 3 waves up. Depending on where this started, 1, 2, 3. I don't think that's a 4, 5 right there, but let's get in a little closer to make sure. 1, 2. This looks like these subwaves look like 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 sideways, and 1, 2, 3 here. They look like all 3 waves to me at this point, which is not a good sign. But if it does make a new high above 73, that would be good. And this might be a big wave 4. If this isn't 3 waves and there's a wave 4 and a 5, it could be something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. However, I don't think that's going to be it, because these subwaves don't look. This could possibly be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It just looks more like a 3 wave to me. I could go into the tiny little subwaves and count them. And then we have this 1, 2, 3 coming down so far. 3 waves going back up. And if this makes another wave up right here, it could be part of a bigger wave like that before it goes back down. However, if this rejects right here and goes back down, then this can be a double correction where there's 3 waves. Or actually, I see another possibility. since I see waves of 3, this could end up being like an A, B, C, D, E. If this comes back down here, or if this was a WXY and then this is a X wave, that can be basically WXY X, and then a Z could be coming down. But if this does make a new high up here, then it might make a 5-wave pattern. Let me turn all these off. Let me look at this middle wave in the more detailed, zoom in a little. That could have been, if this sideways wave was like 1, 2, and 3 sideways, if this wave here, and let me delete it though, and this wave here, if those are just part of this sideways action, then this could have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. However, usually that looks like more like a 1, 2, 3 to me, even more. So that 1, 2 is probably just a subwave, because these proportions don't look right. A 5-wave pattern usually looks more like this. The 5th wave isn't usually the longest one. It can be, but usually the wave 3 tends to be the longest one, more like that. So this keeps looking, the more I try to look at it, it still looks like 3 waves and 3 waves here. So I would expect this to come down again, and it might even try to make a new low, but it came very close. This is one of those stocks where the fundamentals are in trouble and people are just buying it like crazy. So that's another possible risk about it. Eddie said, I heard they are doing a 1-day sale on a new coin called Doge Fit, but they wanted to buy it, was MetaMask kind of suspicious. What do you think? Sometimes I have a problem with where to get some of those coins, and I just steer clear, because I've had problems in the past trying to like get the money back off of exchanges and stuff like that. But that was like 5 years ago, and it was even more like the Wild West than it is now. But yeah, that's an issue with, I don't trust mostly anything. So depending on where you have to put the cash in and if you can withdraw it easily and everything like that, since I'm actively trading, I don't really just hodl a bunch of stuff, especially on exchanges. And that's from just bad experiences in the past that I learned the hard way. Hells Bay Rum said AMC equals Reddit, basically. But even so, no matter what group they are, these are common shaped waves. And history always repeats itself in some form or another. I don't understand why the Reddit community was interested in AMC. Was it heavily shorted? Is that why? So right now it looks like it's trying to make a new high right there. So will it make another three-wave shape up. If it does, it will have three subwaves similar to this. It'll be something like that. But even if it comes up like this, it could still come back down because these overlapping three-wave patterns aren't a good sign. It's not an impulsive sign going to the moon like people might think it is. All right, let's move on to the next one. We've already been live 30 minutes. This is the support.com. Let's check out the monthly. This one went berserk. However, if you go back all the way, it started off going from $76 to $117 before coming down hard back in the early 2000s. So that crashed along with the .com. Well, it's support.com. So that was part of the .com crash that I mentioned. And then this one, was this around the same time as the housing? No. No, then it's not too correlated. This one is with that. So this one came down, and then I see three waves up. And it looks like three waves down. 1, 2, 3. All the way, stretching all the way out to almost came down to 0. Now we had a rocket all the way up to 60 and came all the way back half already. So last time I glanced at this, it looks like I saw a three-wave pattern right there. Similar to AMC, kind of, except this one had a previous high, and this only came up to about half of it. And when you see a rocket like this, you want to beware, because these are the kind of waves that I've been watching out for, right here. These kind of waves that crush people because they think, oh, the crash is over. Another bull market already. Well, that is so naive. Look how long that bear market lasted. It lasted 20 years. That went down for 20 years. Look at the chart. I'm not making that up. There it is right there on the chart. So that's why some of these bounces that we're experiencing right now, especially in crypto, I think it's kind of like this wave right here on this chart, where we had the high, it came down all the way, almost, 80% or more, 90%, and then we've got to bounce up. People get all excited. Nope, fake out, bull trap, and then the three waves down continue. This could be called a double correction, or just a WX and a Y. But that sideways action sure took a long time. And this is why you need to be careful in a bear market, because there will be runs up like that in a bear market right in the middle of it like this, and that's normal. Eddie asked, do you see VET going anywhere? I will check that really quickly before I sign out. Is this all of them? Did I do SPY, AMC, SPRT, and PFE? Okay, so let's get a closer look at this wave up, though. Does that look done, or is it a wave 4 with another wave up? If it's some kind of impulse wave, then, well, that doesn't look good. It's losing momentum, obviously. I mean, it already came down 50% from there. And it looks like it's probably going to make a three-wave pattern down right there. it already bounced and might come another wave down, similar length. I'm not saying what I want to happen, I'm just trying to get a non-biased read on the chart. And this is a common shape to come crashing down after a huge wick up like that. And again, if this makes a new high over 60 and makes a fifth wave up, then I would take a look again and recount and see if it's a 5-wave pattern. Although it doesn't really look like it. It seems similar to that, what we were looking at AMC, where like there's this 1, 2, and then 3 subwaves going up. There's not the exact sell signal that I'm usually looking for. It was really overbought up there, that's for sure. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it could have possibly been 5 subwaves on this. However, that even looks like 1, 2, 3 in the middle there, and then 1, 2, 3 right here. So I don't think that was it. But this is not necessarily looking good until it makes a new high up here above 60, because there's too much downside, especially there's a big gap right there. It probably wants to fill the rest of that gap right now, because those gaps often get filled soon after they're created. And especially we see a lot of giant red bars down, which is not usually good. All right, let me really quickly take a look at VET, and then we'll get going. And anyone watching till the end, I do have a trading stock and crypto course that I created, and I'm still beta testing it right now. I'm extending it a little bit longer. If anyone wants to jump in on the beta test, I'm accepting 1 or 2 more people. Let's see here, and if you see anything, okay, there we go. If you see anything else that you want to take a look at, I have a million different symbols on the watch list. Okay, VET/dollar. Let's go out to the monthly. Uh-oh. That doesn't look good. That kind of looks like support.com, how it went down really hard right when it came out, and then a little bit later it bounced 3 waves up. Now it's heading back down. Not a good sign. This looks like 1, 2, 3 waves up, 1, 2, 3 waves down. 1, 2, 3 waves down. And then this is either an X wave up. It might come up 1 more subwave to maybe 20 cents before coming back down, or that might be it, and it might just come down from there. Remember, those bounces in the middle of a correction can be deadly for some people, because you get trapped right there, and then it's a new correction coming back down. That's kind of what I would expect here, unless it makes a new short-term high above 15 cents and does another little wave up. And even then, I don't think it would make it all the way back up to the top of this yet, but it could, and then go back down, because these 3 wave shapes, they can overlap waves, whereas an impulsive wave like we talked about before, like a 5-wave, 5-wave patterns do not overlap. But the wave 3 is usually longer than wave 1, more like this. So this is not really what that looks like. I see just one wave down here, 2, and then a big 3rd wave coming up. We're looking for more of something like this going up to declare a new bull market. Does that make sense? All right. Eddie said, thank you so much for your hard work. Oh, I appreciate you for watching. It's a good trade-off. You're helping my channel by watching, and I'm giving analysis. And if anyone watching does want in on the secret alert group where I give alerts pretty much non-stop, then just reach out to me on Instagram. That's it for this video. I've been doing several a week. I might hone these down from 5 a week down to 3 because I want to make sure they're good quality and not just pump them out just because I said I would, that's what I'm doing right now. But I want to make sure that they're good quality, and if I do them too much in a row, sometimes like the thumbnails or the headlines and stuff like that misses a little bit. And for YouTube, that's a really important part of the video. It's sometimes no use spending a bunch of work going live and pumping out videos if the thumbnail or title is bad and then no one watches it. So I want to make sure I'm always raising the bar on myself. I always want to improve the channel, of course, and make it better and better. So I appreciate everyone's feedback, especially the positive feedback. And right now it looks like we don't have any bots or anything yet, but beware, in the comments there have been fake bots that have almost the same name as my channel, but just a little bit different, and then they're pretending to be me and saying to message them on WhatsApp. Well, I don't use WhatsApp, so don't message me on WhatsApp. It's fake. Don't message anyone in the comments. And you know, there are links in the description of the video that I have, but beware of the comments because last week there were 1 million bots that just came out of the woodwork, and I wasn't really expecting that until I have more of a following, but I guess they're starting early, so who knows why. It's a frenzy of bots on a brand new channel, but I deleted them, and I'll keep deleting them as I find them and try to keep it clean and free of bots, because it's just totally obnoxious to have people spamming, message me on WhatsApp, and after every single comment. That's basically what they do. So don't fall prey to any of that, and trade at your own risk as always. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Reach out to me on Insta if you want more, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have an amazing day on purpose.